It depends on how open your mind is. I mean, what do you want to believe in? Do you want to believe in the things that other people don't believe in, or do you want to be safe and believe in, the safe things, the things that you can prove and touch and look at? We choose to use our belief capacity to let in anything that we can. So,
in the paranormal war room, the legends arise. We're diving deep down where the truth never lies. Diving deep down where the truth never lies. Unravel the mysteries, let the stories unfold. This beat, these tales are daring and bold.
Hey guys, welcome to the Paranormal War Room. My name's Corky, and I am joined today by OffBeat Paranormal. Guys, why don't you just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you got going on?
Well, my name's Philip. We're planning quite a big year so far. So we have quite a journey coming up here in a couple of months, with a big cross country trip. It's actually going to start with us getting married at the start of the trip.
oh, you just have to tell everybody, don't you?
Oh
Heck,
yeah.
well, congratulations.
I didn't realize we were going to drop that.
I mean,
Wow.
it's
Glad I could get the word out for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
No kidding. Thanks, Corky. Appreciate it. Now everybody knows.
breaking news here.
Yeah.
Red alert, red alert.
But so
Wow.
it's going to start off at Ashmore. We're pretty good friends with Robin and Ashley, the owner and caretaker there, and so we're going to end up getting have the ceremony there. It's not really much of a ceremony, just kind of
Just a
be
few
us
of
and
us.
them. And then we got a few investigations on our way up to Salem.
And then we'll be in Salem
you guys are going to
for
Salem?
5
That's
days.
going to be awesome. Yeah, that's going to be
Yeah,
awesome.
we're meeting. We're part of MJ Dixon and Richard Estep's Patreons. They're good friends of ours too. And once a year they'll do a Patreon event together. And so that's what it is. And we're doing 5 days in Salem, and it's kind of centered at the Hawthorne. We're staying at the Hawthorne, so that's going to be pretty cool. Um, and MJ has some connections up there, so she's going to set up a pretty cool little long weekend. It's like a Thursday through Monday kind of thing. But so that's exciting.
Yeah, that's very exciting. Salem's one of the places that's on my bucket list to visit, as far as the United States goes. I'd love to visit
Yeah.
Salem.
Yeah.
A lot of history up there and stuff like that.
One of the investigations is going to lead us the old hospital on College Hill. Point Pleasant's only a couple hours away from there, so that's a place you definitely have to stop by if you're going to be anywhere remotely in that area.
Yeah.
Now, what is Point Pleasant? Did you say it was a hospital or something like that?
Well, Point Pleasant is Mothman.
Okay. That's there's a bridge there or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where that big, I guess, accident or...
And it's kind of like the origin of the Men in Black and everything. Point Pleasant is kind of the center of a lot of things paranormal, and it's going to be really exciting to go there because we're going to be able to be, in the space where all of this happened. We've been listening to the Mothman Prophecies on audiobook on our, because we drive all the time. So we've been listening to it.
Right.
And that, oh my God, that book just blows. It just fries my brain with logic. It's like, oh my God, that makes so much sense, and all these things that are going on in the book, and to be able to go there, it's going to be really quite an experience. Both of us are pretty empathic, and especially me as far as inside empathy and feeling situations and locations and things. I feel them pretty deep. Sometimes not so great, but it's going to be really cool to be in that place and just be able to soak it all in, and then, oh my God, go up to Salem. The history there is just incredible, and I'm excited, but it's so exciting to the point where I don't know how excited to be. And it's probably going to be like to the point when I get there and I'm just going to be, speechless for a while, and then they're probably not going to be able to find me for a few days. So
Oh, it sounds like you guys are gonna have a
But
great time. But for my
yeah.
audience, the Mothman you're talking was it Point Pleasant you said? If
Mhm.
I've
Mhm,
got the story correct, there's a bridge there and there was a lot of either it collapsed or there was a bunch of cars ran off of it and stuff like that. Is that what happened?
mhm.
Right. Yeah,
Okay.
And Mothman was, seen just before that happened. Um,
And
the
all that really happened. I
harbinger
thought that stuff was
of
just like a
death.
story. Yeah.
No.
yeah, generally speaking, if somebody sees, Mothman, something bad's about to happen.
Yeah,
Um,
he's like a bad omen or something like that. But I thought all
yeah.
that stuff was just like urban legend and stuff like that. So it really happened. That's I don't know if that's cool or scary. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, it depends on how open your mind is. I mean, what do you wanna
Yeah.
believe in? Do you wanna believe in the things that other people don't believe in, or do you wanna be safe and believe in, the safe things, the things that you can prove and touch and look at? We choose we choose to use our, uh, belief capacity to let in anything that we can, so, though we didn't see it happen and, nobody has a Mothman in custody or anything, just the reports and the sightings and the stories, I encourage anybody just to listen to or read, the Mothman books, and, well, I say books, there's the Mothman Prophecies, and there's one book that he wrote after that with a bunch of, content that was just too much for the first book, so it's kind of a follow-up, but we haven't gotten to that one yet, I'm excited about it.
You've definitely sold me on the Mothman prophecies. I've been looking for something to kind of get into myself. So, thanks for recommending that. I'll definitely check that out, especially if I can get it in audiobook. I'm not the type that reads a lot, but I'll sit there and
That's
listen. So,
I've
you know,
yeah,
As well
I've
for
got it on my Audible, it's nice.
okay,
um,
sweet.
but yeah, after watching, I mean, the movie came out a long time ago, and I wasn't too much of a fan of it by any means. Then we watched Hellier, with Greg and Dana Newkirk
If you haven't
on
seen that, you gotta
Amazon.
see that first,
Oh,
or
okay,
maybe
There's
okay.
Mothman first.
a lot of ties between stuff that they're finding and Mothman and Point Pleasant and Kentucky goblins and all that stuff.
Men in Black and
Yeah, like, it starts to kinda get deep, especially in season 2.
Linkin
That's when we started listening to Mothman, after that, and some of the stuff that they're finding and referencing is connected within the book, and you're just like, "Oh, what?"
Wow.
So, that was pretty cool to go back and, kinda listen, to accounts of that they're still finding today as they did back then.
Yeah,
Wow.
and just, name drop Hellier 3 is about to come out, so you need to get caught up on seasons 1 and 2 because, season 3 is gonna be big.
Now, where can
So,
a man
that's
stream that at
exciting.
if you wanted to start checking it out?
Well, shoot.
It's
Is
on Prime,
is it on Amazon Prime?
Amazon
All
Prime.
right.
I bought the
Okay.
DVD, so I don't
Okay.
or
Cool.
Blu-rays or whatever there.
Mm.
I'm old school.
Yeah, yeah. That's awesome, guys. Uh, well, I definitely didn't think I was going to start off with a conversation about the Mothman today. This is a first for me, so that's real interesting. Um,
Well, what are you wanting to
well,
talk about?
hey, we're going to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. That I'll talk about
Mm,
the Mothman all day long. That's a conversation that's never come up on this show yet. But hey, there's the first time for everything. Uh, but I guess, you guys are paranormal investigators on your way
mhm.
up with, in your travels while you're, driving through the Mothman country and all that good stuff. Uh, what is some of the most compelling and evidence you guys have ever got that's kind of makes you think that, this stuff might be real and stuff like that?
We haven't gotten any evidence. We've not been up in that area yet. That's gonna be our first venture towards that area. I've
Yeah.
never been further northeast than, I guess,
Well
Ashmore.
I mean, flying
So,
flying wise, you've gone up to New York City.
yeah, but
Trip.
New York City is Manhattan's that's kinda isolated up there.
I'm looking forward to this
Lots of
because
monsters up there.
What type
in
of
the city and not.
paranormal investigations have you guys done and far as and what kind of evidence have you got from those investigations and stuff like that?
Oh, we've got a lot of things. We've got, me personally, before we met, I was part of a team here in Oklahoma. I'm not a part of anymore, but um, when we did, because we did residential cases, and there was one specific residential case here in Oklahoma that was really an experience for me. It was, I mean, up on the top of the hill, there was an old railroad track, and there were, you could see the shadows of what I'm assuming because of the history of the place, what I'm assuming were Native Americans. They were placed at the edge of this field, this like it's the tall grass or whatever, but you could see them standing on the edge of the tall grass, but they wouldn't come out. So I was with several other girls and they were like, let's go down there and investigate. I'm like, no, we're going to stay right here and we're probably going to leave because, they're
Yeah.
allowing us to be here. This is Native American spirits is one thing I get the goosebumps. I have the utmost of respect for the natives anywhere. Um, that have been, challenged in history, and I won't mess with it. So, if I ever come across that, it's like, okay, we're gonna leave them here. We're gonna let them do their thing. Uh, and down at the bottom of the hill where the house was, we had everything from my first, like, I don't know, if you've ever, like, walked through, like, a wall of static, like, you feel the pinpricks, like, the tingles all over.
Yeah.
That was the first time I've ever had that experience. I was able to walk into it, walk out of it, and then walk back into it, and you could just feel the static charge. It was just like electricity was just attacking my entire body. That was really cool, and that was right after some things fell off of a top shelf in the storage room. We were in, like, a pole barn house or whatever. Also the front yard, there were, lights, like floating lights along the ground that were kind of pulsing and glowing, and then they would flash, and then they would kinda chase each other, around. Um, and there were shadows. I got on footage on my video camera, shadows that were actually jumping from behind one tree to the next tree to the next tree. It was a really exciting place, and I mean, we heard things, we saw things. That was before I wish I could have brought him there,
That would've been
but
awesome.
the two people that lived there, they were very highly emotional, in a
Mhm.
state of the the marriage is having troubles and
Right.
that sort of thing. So emotions are already high, and that just fuels that energy for paranormal situations. So it was really intense, but it was a really crazy experience, and I think that was one of the things that made me stop doing residential cases because I was like, seeing this woman and everything that she's going through and, there was substance abuse being done actually while we were there, um, investigating and looking into this, for her. It was a friend of the lead investigator,
Right.
so it wasn't just like someone off the street, but, it made me realize, in a situation like this, I don't think that I'm qualified to take care of this woman, and, um, I'm gonna leave that to somebody more experienced because that's a lot of responsibility there for somebody's safety and emotions, and I'm okay stepping back from that. So, that
Yeah.
and I don't want people calling my phone 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning anymore.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Exactly. It really is. And some of the experiences I've had with like the house I live in now and even other places I've been, a lot of times spirits will attach and cause those type of problems, cause depression and just
Oh,
cause you
yeah.
to do stupid things. And I've seen and experienced some of that myself. And
Mhm.
yeah, you're right. You can go into a residential place like that. And if somebody's got a dark attachment to them, they can be causing a lot of problems in their home life, marriage, financial
Yeah.
life, a lot of different things, man. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
it was not a Go ahead.
the way the reason that I kinda steer clear of some of that stuff too, because that stuff's real, man, and I don't know how to fix it if I do get involved with something like that, you
Exactly.
know?
Well, not only that, if you're in even the slightest, emotionally vulnerable position that, you know, with from what we understand, that leaves you, free to be a target for something to
Right.
attach to that vulnerability. And that's what we assume, but it seems like it happens more often than not. Um, so I have to make sure that for me personally, I've had a situation where I was at a location and I was not in a very good emotional state. And I told the team I was with that I wasn't. Like, you guys need to keep an eye on me just in case. And I did end up getting uh, viciously sick that night and having really terrifying visions whenever I would close my eyes, and got that off of me that night. But from now on out, I or here on out, from here on out, I make sure that my emotional state is stable. You know, if I'm upset about something, or if we've just had an argument or something, or I don't chance it. You know, so I don't want to bring something home to my kids and ruin the safety that we've got here.
Yeah, that's a smart thing to do. I know I was trying to be a ghost hunter, back in the day. It's probably 20 years ago now. But I posted this EVP on my TikTok page, and you guys can go there and check it out. But I recorded a little girl in a graveyard asking where her mommy was. She says,
Oh,
where's
wow.
my mommy? And that night I came home. Of course, I didn't hear the recording while I was at the graveyard. I heard it later that night when I was at home listening to the footage and stuff like that. But about this, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning after I got home, and my kids were little then, and my son runs out of the room and says, if Braylee's my daughter, he said, if she's going to be up, I'm going to be up. I said, what are you talking about, man? And he said, she just ran into the living room. I said, Braylee's laying right here asleep beside, I was in the bedroom. And he said, oh, and I figured that night I brought that little girl home with me, after I
Mm,
recorded her in the graveyard. And just like you said, a little bit after that, I got violently sick. I mean,
yeah,
I got so sick. And what do you think causes that type of stuff? That
there's no
sickness and
way to
stuff like that?
there's no way to even have a theory on that for me at least. I just know that it happens, and I know that I'd never experienced anything like that before in my life. Sickness, sure, sudden bouts of sickness could be, stomach bug or whatever. But
Yeah.
when I closed my eyes, because it was just me in my hotel room and I was getting ready to go to bed, and this was after the investigation. I think all of us, and nothing really happened at the location. It was really quite quiet. For me, at least, I didn't have any experiences that were like, I mean, we heard disembodied voices, and I saw some other experiences happen to some other people, but it wasn't like I was blown away and shocked and just terrified. I went back to my hotel and I was like, all right, it's time to go to bed. Put my pajamas on, crawled into bed, and I think I had on, like, we have an allergic cat. Um and she just fell. Sorry. That was funny.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I crawled into bed and I think I was watching like King of the Hill or something, or, just something simple, and closed my eyes and I just started seeing really dark things. And it wasn't just like, am I going too far into this, or um anyway, it was just it
No,
was
you
it
no.
it
You
it
go as far
seemed
as you wanna go. We're in the car riding
oh
with you right
shit.
now, man.
No, it seemed from the way I received it emotionally, it seemed targeted. And that scared the shit out of me.
Right,
Uh,
right.
and I had never been in a place that was, because this place that I had gone to was reportedly dark. Reportedly, demons were lurking according to all the YouTubers and um all that, but I'd never been into a place that was quite that well known and powerful. Won't ever be going back, but um it 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 seemed intentional, it seemed targeted, it felt like something was targeting me. So, just get to the bathroom, Palo Santo, St. Michael's Prayer,
Mhm.
doing what I can for about, 45 minutes to an hour, and I started feeling better and the vision stopped and all my
Yeah.
symptoms stopped, and I was able to finally get to sleep, but
Wow.
it was not a fun experience for sure.
Yeah, there ain't
I
no doubt
mean,
about it. That's where you cross over from having fun to, this is something
Yeah.
serious here. That's
Well, and
crazy.
that's where you gotta make sure that when you're on an investigation, you're with the right people.
Exactly,
So,
exactly.
I wasn't at the time, and I'm much, much, much more careful now. In fact, we just turned down an opportunity, to go on an investigation because it was a really big investigation too, but, um, I just don't want us to be in the position, 1,000 miles away in a place with a bunch of people we don't know,
that we've never talked
that
to.
we've never talked to.
Right.
No one, I don't know what the hell's going on in the other rooms.
But
Yeah, and
no,
you
as far
you
as attachments go, there's always a process. I know a lot of people don't really think about it. I was kind of uh, trained and everything else quite a long ago. It was more just not like team wise or the major places, but if you are going into a place as far as protection to protect yourself and everything else is when you're leaving. A lot of people don't think about it. Getting the attachments and then they get home like, oh yeah, I probably brought something home. They don't think about it. Um, so one of the things that I tend to do, whether if we're leaving out of the building or in a vehicle, is if you're walking out the door for the last time, picture the door frame as like just a barrier of just positive energy, and as you're walking out, think to yourself, nothing's going to pass this doorway. It's like whatever's
Right.
attached to me, if they're going to try and come with me, they're not passing this position. And so you walk out and that should clear. If you forgot about that, then as you're driving down the road or something, two telephone poles or just some place where you
Visualize.
visualize some place where you're kind of going through, create the barrier there and have it pass through as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Um,
It's all about the intention. Set
And
that
that's exact you
intention.
took the words right out of my mouth. That's the exact thing I was
Sorry.
gonna say is,
Yeah.
a lot of paranormal investigators I've interviewed, everybody talks about setting those intentions,
mhm.
and that's something I've had to learn to do even before coming in here and doing some of these podcasts, because I straight up live in a haunted house. There's no doubt about it. There was some darn Amityville horror stuff going on here when we moved in here,
Oh,
and
shit.
and it just seems like, you get because I'm in a room here, you start talking about ghosts and spirits and all that stuff. It kind of stirs up the dust here in the house a little bit, even though we've took steps to get it calmed down in here. But if you get in here stirring up the dust like I am, getting in here talking about this kind of stuff, it seems to make stuff happen. So I've had to learn to set those intentions myself, even before doing these podcasts and stuff like that. So everybody I interview when it comes to paranormal investigations talks about setting those intentions, and you guys have done the same thing. So I have to put a lot of credence into that because everybody talks about
Mhm.
doing that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you say that. The last time we had a podcast, who was that with?
That was with Chummy.
Chumming with the Spirits? No,
Chumming
no,
with the
no, no, no. When
spirits.
we were
Before that,
here and we
oh,
heard,
when we were here. Oh
was that
no,
with John?
that was with John. So that was with Myths, Monsters, and Mullets,
Yeah,
and
that's how I got in touch with you guys, was through John. He's a buddy of mine.
um,
He's a good dude.
and a
Yeah,
noise
he is.
happened in the bathroom. It sounded like the toilet bowl like closed or
Some
knocked on it or something like
some
that.
big clanging sound, or because we have glass doors on the shower in there. To me, it sounded like something against the glass doors.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
was like, and you think, oh, something just fell off the wall. Nothing had fallen, nothing had tipped, nothing, there was nothing moved. And we all heard it. John was like, what was that?
yeah.
And I was like, I said, did you hear that? He's like, yeah, I heard that.
Like we both like looked over like
And he's like, I'm gonna look on I'm gonna go back and review this footage and see if, if I can hear it, if there was anything. It is just, I mean, it was fun, but still you think it's just like you said, you're sitting here talking about everything, stirring everything up. Now we don't have an Amityville horror house or anything, and I've really never had a whole lot of experience except for, getting touched here and there by things passing through, I'm sure. But we have no residents here. And so we don't expect those things to happen. And it seems like the more and more we delve into connecting with our higher selves and opening ourselves up to the possibilities of things existing and being real and palpable, they want to come by and say hi. So uh,
Yeah, no,
it's
it's like you
it's
open up
it's
a door for
cool.
them or something. Yeah, yeah.
mhm.
Oh
That's a
yeah,
it.
that's bad words, but
Something is out there. Ghosts, cryptids, aliens, the things that haunt your nightmares are very real. Join host Corky Derrick every Thursday at 7 p.m. on Midnight Realm Radio as he takes you inside the paranormal war room, where true encounters with the unexplained come to life. Listen to the Paranormal War Room Thursdays on Midnight Realm Radio at 7 p.m. and anytime on YouTube and Spotify.
In the paranormal war room, the legends arrive.
Yeah. It's funny you guys say that stuff happened during John's when you was doing an interview with John, because I done an interview. I went on John's show and I told him the story of when we moved into this house. And
mhm,
funny part about it was during that podcast, I started having all kinds of technical issues with the equipment and stuff like that.
mm,
And I have my phone sitting here beside me like I've got now, but it's obviously on silent. And we done the podcast. I told him the story, and after we stopped recording, we sit there and talk for a few minutes. And I looked at my phone, and during the podcast, my wife had sent me a text message, and it was about the same time that I started having all the electrical problems during the podcast. And the text message said, "I don't know what you're in there talking about, but I'm hearing all kinds of sound from Jace's room." That's our son. His room's upstairs.
Mm,
And during that
mm.
podcast, she started hearing this stuff running back and forth in his room. And
Oh my
I told
God.
John, I was like, "Look here, bro." I said, "She sent me this during the podcast." He was like, "Man, that is crazy." So yeah, I'm just waiting on something to happen right now.
When when was your house built?
1864.
Yeah,
Oh.
lucky turd.
Listen, there are still, if you go down in our basement, there are still piles of coal where the slaves would feed the furnaces down there.
Oh my
A-
God.
And there is also a sealed off room that was the slave quarters that we cannot get into
Yet.
yet. Of course, I'm not going to break it open because my butt still has to live here right now. But,
Oh, I know.
maybe one of
Oh
these days
man.
I'll get up the nerve because I don't know what's in that room. Nobody does. It's bricked up with brick, so you'd have to knock that brick down. But
I
yeah, it's
mean,
down
I have
there.
no issue taking a sledgehammer to some brick.
I tell everybody, the day we move out of this place, we're going to
You're
see
gonna
what's in the
break it
room.
open.
Yeah, and whatever's in there better not come with me either. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's like, that girl in the Goonies. She's like, I think God put that rock there for a purpose, and I don't think we need to move it. Kind of sort of thing.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah,
It blows my mind that, I mean, it's again nothing we can prove, which is 99.9% of the stuff in this world that we believe in, but um blows my mind how spirits can move from place to place and go through walls and all of these things. Yet if we set the intention and we put up a wall or a door or seal something up an attic, that works. I mean, because you have report after report of people, opening up a panel of the wall or an access door in the floor or in the ceiling, and all of a sudden, they feel that rush of energy, and then the activity begins, and that just
yeah.
it's amazing.
Well,
Well, and it further supports the theory, not the theory, but the point of intention. Setting
yeah.
intentions.
Yeah, we have
So,
no idea what our mind is capable of. That's what I've always tried to say.
Mm.
You just got to learn how to use it. But
isn't that exciting?
it is exciting, and that's why I do stuff like this. I'm just trying to learn, man. That's all I'm trying to do.
Hmm.
Let's see what else I want to ask you guys. Oh, so when you're going on an investigation, obviously you got to take some equipment. What's your favorite equipment to take? What's your most trusted equipment? Let's put it that way.
Mine's the SB7 and my Vic Firths
Now, what is
Like,
that
and my
from
and
us
my audio
novices here?
recorder. So the SB7 is just one of those ghost boxes, you go it scans the radio
Right,
waves
right.
forward or backward at a certain speed. Um, the SB7 is just the classic trustworthy item to have. And then the Vic Firths are a pair of isolation headphones, not noise canceling, but isolation drummers headphones.
Okay.
So basically it seals everything off from the outside, and all you hear is the pure whatever's coming in from wherever you're listening to. So between that and I've got a Sony voice recorder that I really, really love. I think those are my three things.
yeah.
The Peacock's becoming one of my favorites too.
The peacock's finally starting to take hold.
So
Um,
about a year
Yeah.
ago, I kind of wanted to dabble with. We're both severe ADHD, so we have a lot of hobbies. And what did you say? Uh, Something of many, masters of none.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah, so that's kind of us. But I got into building my own equipment, and so I got with a
Oh, okay.
friend to
That's
teach
cool.
me. Yeah, I mean, if I had the resources and the time to learn, I would love to do that. Heck, but
Yeah.
so I built this basically an EMF detector, or no,
REM pod.
REM pod. Thank you. A REM. I mean, I guess it does both, but it's a REM pod that I put into one of my kids' stuffed animals, and it's a stuffed peacock. But I put all the lights like in her tail, and she lights up and
Right.
makes noises and everything, and it's really cool. But for the first couple investigations, in fact, a friend of mine made fun of me for the last investigation. He's like, "Oh, is that peacock that don't work?" I was like, "Well, hey, we went to McIntyre Villa and it worked really well for the first time, and then we went to Sleeper and it would not shut up."
Yeah,
So,
really?
yeah, and so it was just one of those things that it kind of had to warm up to places, I guess. But
I mean,
Or
for
or
me,
maybe the ghost, maybe the spirits had to warm up to it, but they're like, "What's this
maybe
freaking
hey,
peacock here with a lighting up
it's like
tail?" You know?
I'm right.
don't play with a toy.
Yeah.
Um,
Don't give me stuffed animals.
those headphones are important though because the noise cancellation headphones, if you use those,
Mhm.
um, basically what's going on with that is it's eliminating the possible things that you're going to hear because it's canceling out the noise.
Right.
Um, the isolation ones are important because it's not canceling out the noise and making it to where, you're going to miss something. As far as like for me, for equipment, um, we're very much people to just kind of sit and be with where we are. So,
Right.
I mean, I absolutely just love to just kind of sit there and be a part of it. And some of the best evidence that we've gotten has been just being a part of the place. So, always the recorder's always trusty. Camera, I love being able to catch things on film because then some people, you're going to show be like, hey, I got this. Whether if it's, people might argue if it's pareidolia or whatever, but there's certain instances where it's not, and you always got to figure out if it is or not, of course. And then lately, for my birthday, Amanda had uh, burned a communication board for me. And so, as part of our other
Okay.
side, we have Offbeat by Design, and we do the custom spirit communication boards and everything else. And the first time we pulled it out was at McIntyre, and we had verifiable results. The name, age, location, cause of death, all that. And then when Amanda had asked why it's there, we were spelling out dead, and in the middle of that, we didn't even know there was a dead bell in the house. A different
Mm.
investigation team had brought it, and as we were spelling that, to the only time it went off the entire night was when they spelled that out, and it dinged once. That was it. Um,
Wow.
Scared the shit out of our friend's daughter.
Well, no doubt.
She's like she's like 15 laying on the couch playing on her phone, and all of a sudden she knows we're in there with the spirit board. She knows what we're
Yeah.
doing, but she's doing her own thing across the other side. She thought she was safe over there, and all of a sudden, ding, and all you hear is "Mom." It
Yeah,
was
why is a bell so scary? If you're laying there and just a bell is something that strikes fear in your heart. It does mine anyhow. You're
yeah.
laying there and
Well,
everything's silent. You just hear a bell go off. That'll wake you up, son. I'm telling you. You
I
know?
have so one of the first big events I ever went to was Strange Escapes with Amy Bruni, and her favorite is the dead
Oh,
bell.
really? That's
Yeah.
cool.
It was fun. It was a really good big time intro to the whole community, but we would go down to the basement of Belvoir Winery and it was just like ding 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 ding, and then we got EVPs, clear class A EVPs of little kids
Wow.
talking, saying they want to play or whatever. So they were down there playing with that damn bell. So I know that thing works. I know it goes off like crazy. And I know that just like at McIntyre, it'll be hours and hours that you don't hear a thing.
And then
Right.
she got really scared over at Sleeper. We had an ugly sweater party with Tori, the owner of Sleeper Mortuary, and Josh Hurd.
Yeah.
And we were in a room, and she goes and we both go and sit down. They were already doing an investigation, and she sat down. She didn't realize there was a dead bell right next to her.
I come into a room full of people. Like I'm just wandering, wanting to be social, or come into a room full of people, completely dark. There's a couple of those lines. What are they called?
Tripwires.
Tripwires in the middle of the room.
Mm.
I'm like, oh, I'll sit down and hang out or whatever. So I come down and sit down and hang out. And one of the girls across the way, she's like, good spot to choose to sit. And I'm like, oh, I don't know what that means, but whatever. And so I'm sitting there waiting, and all of a sudden I hear ding, and it was right behind me. There was a dead bell, like right here on top of the
Wow.
casket. right next to me. I swear to God, I jumped, I fell on the floor, I sprawled myself out. Everybody starts laughing, and I'm just like, oh my God, I just scared myself shitless. It
That's
was fun
crazy.
though, and it was super
No doubt.
responsive, and we'd have one on this side of the room and one on the other side of the room, and they were going back and answering questions, doing double taps when we asked for double taps or, back and forth or whatever. It was just it was insane, it was cool. Yeah.
Those dead bells are fascinating to me. I've been thinking about getting one and putting it right here on the bookshelf here, but
You totally should.
I'd be afraid it'd go off so much it'd interrupt the podcast. It'd probably be like ding 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 ding, you know? And I just
You
have
can
to
always
end up
turn it down. It's got that sensitivity knob on it, you know?
So,
But
how do you guys rule out those, you take your equipment into a place to investigate, how do you rule out, whether it's real or fake, those false positives and stuff like that? What makes you, how do
depends on what
you,
it is.
yeah, how do you
Depends on the
differentiate that?
scenario. If it's a recording, if it's a recording, you go back, listen to it, the atmospheric sounds. Is it just something part of the background? Is it you just trying to put the sounds together that naturally occurring to where it's actually something, and or at least makes it sound like something for the pareidolia, and then yeah, did anybody else hear it? Did any other recorders pick it up? Did any other, like, if you have video going on, did it record it or anything? Pictures, always make sure, especially if you're taking a picture inside a window or at a window or anything. Is there anything in the windowsill that can cause it? What time of day? Where's the sun shining? Where the shadows going at? And it makes it kind of hard when it's going on like that. To make sure that it's accurate. Then there's different experiments you can do as far as what's that cage called?
Faraday
Faraday cage?
cage?
Yeah, Faraday
Yeah,
cage. Yeah, the Faraday cage. You could always use one of those with your REM pods, and because a cop car could be driving by and signal would go off or something, and it would trigger it.
right,
And so it's just being aware of your surroundings and doing the walkthrough is probably the most important thing to start off your investigation, because it helps you become part of the atmosphere, be able to figure out what kind of noises occur naturally versus not occurring naturally. And then kind of go from there.
In my case, I don't really give a shit if somebody believes me or not. I've gotten to the
I
point
like your
now.
attitude.
uh, I've gotten to it's so much easier this way, you know?
Right,
But I've gotten to the point now where I've experienced so much. Um, and like I said, I'm a feeler. Like when I
mhm,
experience it, like I know it. Nobody can fucking tell me different. Like that's happened enough that I'm not so much on evidence. I mean, I think it's cool. We got some whistling at uh we still need to go through that shit from McIntyre. But it's cool to get evidence, but that's not for me, that's not the main objective. Like he said, going in and being part of a place and feeling like you belong and you're accepted. Like if you're chosen, I think a spirit has control whether or not they speak out loud to you. Um,
right,
and if you're chosen to hear that, if you're chosen for that method of communication, I think that is the biggest, like, what would it be called?
Yeah, I mean, call
Compliment.
it a
It's like,
compliment or
yeah, it's the biggest compliment. Um, because, you're being not singled out, but you're being recognized, you're being chosen, you're safe. You're safe for a spirit, something that we don't understand, to come out and want to reach out and communicate with you, and to be able to experience that and to have that um kind of that atta girl of, hey, you're doing things right.
right.
The spirits are trusting you. That's like the biggest thing to me. I could give a shit less about evidence. Um,
personal experiences are, like, to me it means more than everything else.
mhm.
Just because the way that I grew up and everything that I've seen and heard and everything else and experienced, that it's like, okay, like the evidence is cool. We're going in places that are known, haunted locations. If it's a place that isn't known and you're finding something, that's when it's like being able to get the evidence is probably the most crucial. Just because, hey, we are here, this is the evidence, this it could be a problem, and you might need to call somebody else, to be able to record in those locations and gather the evidence and be good. It kind of is paramount, especially if you're helping people. But if you're going into a known location, getting those personal experiences and those memories that hopefully you're going to take with you for the rest of your life is more important than, hey, I have a picture that I'm going to lose 2, 3, 4, 10 weeks, 2 years from now or
Exactly,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and it doesn't matter how much evidence we get, nobody's gonna believe us anyways.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. No matter what you do, there's
No.
always gonna be a naysayer out there. You could walk out
Yeah.
your front door and trip over Bigfoot, and somebody would say, "Nah, man, that was a log. It wasn't Bigfoot." You know,
Exactly. I mean,
it don't matter what you do.
I have seen some insane, incredible evidence. Like, oh God, people, unless you have that experience personally, they won't believe because I've gone up to friends or family and I'll say, listen to this. That voice, the first disembodied voice I heard at Belvoir, that's one of my favorite ones. You can't, like, I heard it, the girls around me heard it, the guys behind us heard it. Like, you can't disprove that. It came from nowhere. And people will still say, I don't know what that is, but I don't believe it. And it's like, okay, whatever. So there's really no point other than, encouraging ourselves that we've seen. Now that's nice. If we've seen something or experienced something and we get it on camera
Yeah,
or on the audio recorder, that backs up our experience. It's like, okay, I'm not crazy. Because I'm a natural skeptic, so I still go through that shit every single time. I'm just like, I got to be hearing something, or that's got to be this, or that's got to be that. You go through the old, TAPS, ghost hunters debunking methods and
right,
check
right.
the windows and check the doors. And more or less, I'm starting to learn to really trust my intuition. I really think it knows what it's doing. Um, and just be grateful and, God, appreciative to be able to finally be at the point in my life where I can open myself up to these amazing experiences and the possibilities that there are things that exist that we can't see and don't have evidence of. I mean, that's that's a life's worth of the coolest things for me. So, did I go
Yeah,
off topic?
there's a
No.
lot of people out
Okay.
there that are just A to B type people. They don't see
yeah.
anything outside that realm, and
Mm-mm.
you know,
Well, and there's a lot of
it,
people out in right now in the paranormal world that are out there for the evidence and for the clicks and for the, all of these
exactly.
things. And it just frustrates the hell out of us when we're there, but there's a really good chunk of us, the majority that we're out there for the right reasons.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
but
Well, guys, I don't
anyhow,
want to keep you guys all day, but I've got one more question I want to ask to both of you, and I want both of you guys to try to answer this. And there's no right answer, so but it's especially when I talk to paranormal investigators, I always want to end my show with this question here, and you guys, just answer it the best you can. Like I said,
is
there's
your
no right or
favorite?
wrong answer. But so what happens after we die? What's your take on it?
Mm.
Well, what I keep telling the kids is, we're going to both die at the same time, and then we're going to come back and haunt them, and we're going to play
It
tricks on
sounds like
them.
what I tell my kids.
Yeah. You know, I grew up in a religious household, and my belief was, when we pass away, we go into like holding. There's like this holding phase. I don't know if you're conscious of it or not. And then, when Jesus comes back down, it takes everybody up. That's when you all get to be, in the new world together or whatever. But now, I believe there's a creator. I believe somebody had to have created us.
Yeah, nothing comes
There's
from nothing.
Nothing comes from nothing. There's something out there working and doing all the pulling the strings and everything. I know that. I don't know its name. I don't know what it looks like or what it's made up of, and that's okay because I'm breathing. My body works all right, so I'm
Right.
appreciative. But as far as after we die, God, I hope I get to go straight into just like some kind of other really cool form of consciousness. Um, I'm warming up to the possibility that reincarnation is real. um, Again, that's just one of those things that I don't have evidence that it's not real, so who am I to say that it is or isn't? So who knows, man? Whatever it
Yeah,
is
who
though, it's
knows?
gonna be cool. I don't think that there's bleak blackness. I don't think that there's just silence and everything's over. Um, I believe that there's spirits floating around. I believe that um, the people that have passed away before me that cared a lot about me, they come back to check on me and to, tell me that things are coming. And so I just hope that I'll be able to do the same for, my kids and the people that I love.
Um,
I hope that I'm there with you.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna be playing pranks on people. Um, but on my end, it's we've talked about with other people as far as our upbringings where we were taught and everything. I was raised Catholic. They believe in purgatory and all that.
Yeah.
I'm definitely
Learned a
not
little
that
bit
way.
about purgatory. I learned a little bit about purgatory last week. So,
Yeah.
I'm
I
not Catholic by
definitely
no means, but hey.
I don't claim it anymore. A lot of people, kind of from where my stance is, and because I definitely believe that there is something and God exists and everything else. But then I'm like, I was raised Catholic. They're like, oh, okay. Like they just understand the viewpoint from that. But reincarnation, there's been evidence to suggest that it might happen. Kids that are babies that are born, that 2-year-old prodigy of how to play a guitar or something. And when the grandpa just died not long before they were born, that was an amazing guitar player. Like, how
Right.
could a 2-year-old pick up the guitar and just kind of know how to start playing? Stuff like that. I definitely believe there's an afterlife, and we're all just kind of hanging out there, whether if you're on the earth
We're
or
all
up,
just kind of
up in the
hanging out
sky.
there.
Yeah, and time is irrelative. It doesn't our conception of time is not how time really is. And so, we could be out there, for the spirits that are at the other places. For all we know, that could be some other dimension, and just they're able to kind of communicate through us. But I definitely believe that there's something. I have no idea what it is. Um, you know, I think that's probably where life begins. Like,
Mm.
and this is a holding pattern. Like, you're getting through this to get through the better. And so,
Well, that sucks, don't it?
well, I'm with you now, so it's a lot better. But you're going through all the challenges and tribulations that this life has to bring, but then your life is starting once you die. That could definitely be something.
Absolutely. I like to think if once we pass away, the real adventure begins. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So,
That's really cool. That's really cool to be able I mean, I wanna and, as parents, we wanna be here for our kids and do what we know to do, what we've been born to do, and it's makes us up as parents and as people, but, as far as, the both of us have met each other, and now, it's kinda about us now. We're both
right,
40
right.
or over, and it's time to move on to the next best thing, I mean, I don't wanna
Mhm.
die tomorrow and, start floating around. I wanna stay here for a little bit longer. I got things to do, but, yeah,
Yeah.
it's really cool to think about. I try not to think
Yeah.
about it too much, though. Uh,
No, no, you don't know think about it too much. It'll get you
no.
depressed, but you know,
Well, no,
but
it's not that, it's that it hurts my brain. He's he's one of them people that can figure out the ins and outs and the intricacies and the theories, and I'm just like, "If it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. I'm here and I'm breathing oxygen and I'm happy." That's kinda what I focus on, but
that's a good attitude
Yeah,
to have. It really
you
is.
gotta have you gotta have a yin and a yang, I guess. My
Absolutely.
brain hurts if I think too much, so I just try to smile and love on people and have fun, so
Smile and love on people. That's the main thing. I like
yeah,
that.
I think so.
Well, guys, listen, congratulations on the wedding upcoming that, we outed on the podcast here.
We? No.
I'm going to go with we.
Shit.
I mean, it's going to come out sometime, right?
I guess.
Yeah.
Hey, why not today? Why not now? That's
Right.
what I always say. Why not now?
Jesus. Okay.
But hey, this was awesome. You guys are very easy to talk to. So thank you so much for coming on the show. Congratulations on everything. Congratulations on the black belt, by the way. I checked that out on your Facebook page
Oh,
the other day.
hey, thank you.
Awesome, man. That's a great job.
Did you see
Thank
the
you.
video of him breaking that last board?
I did not, but I did see the
Oh,
picture and the
damn.
announcement. So that was
You gotta
awesome.
watch it. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
It
I'll
was,
That's me
definitely
yeah.
check
screaming in
that
the
out.
background.
But before we cut out of here, guys, tell everybody where they can find you, contact you, or, whatever you need to tell. Let's get it out there now.
So you can reach out as far as email goes, offbeatbydesign@gmail.com. And then, either by Offbeat by Design or Offbeat Paranormal. We both have Facebook, Instagram. For that, Offbeat Paranormal, we're just starting up a YouTube and TikTok. We're kind of bad about that because we're way behind on evidence review.
Tell me
But
about it.
we're very engaging on Facebook. And we got Meta going, and I'm switching between so many different ones. So if I'm not answering, she's answering.
Well, we're trying to keep up with all that in our paranormal team and evidence and friendships and kids and the family. And then we've got the business. We've got, we're doing the T-shirts and I do the custom spirit boards and
Pendulum boards.
pendulum boards and pendulums. And there's just one of his uncles just gifted me what's the saw called? A scroll saw.
A scroll saw.
Says like I'm a woodworker, so it opens up like so many different avenues for me. I'm real excited,
Oh,
but it's
okay.
just like,
That's
oh
awesome.
shit, my 40-year-old brain ain't working so well. But so we're gonna be at shows here and there. We're gonna be at Missouri Paracon. We're gonna be at the Cryptid Fest in June in Little Rock.
Yeah, we got it. We got a table at Cryptid Fest in June at Little Rock. We'll be wandering around Missouri Paracon for sure. Don't have a booth there because we're just kind of getting into it. And checked out Oddities, and that one, man. If you don't get a booth like right as it opens, you're not getting one. I found out. And so it opened up October 31st, and for the next year, and I looked at November 6th, and everything was already sold out at every event. But yeah, there's another one in Arkansas I'm looking at. We have a board. We found out there's a traveling Ouija board museum. We're going to be making
Yeah,
a
I've heard
board.
about that.
We're going to
We're
be
making him a
sending one.
custom board.
Yep. And that's going to be part of the show. And we got a lot of good stuff going on. It's just the beginning, and we're coming out guns blazing, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely sounds like you guys keep busy. If you're ever in Tennessee, man, you'll have to holler at me and we'll have to, meet up and hang out and talk about some ghost stories and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
I love Tennessee.
Yeah, man. Definitely nice meeting you guys. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We'll get on out of here. See ya. Bye.
The unknown awakens, hear the echoes grow loud. We're diving deep, join the curious crowd. In the paranormal war room, we take flight, bringing the spooky vibes, shadows and light. With every beat, the legends we explore, unleashing the spirits. We're ready for more. Striking down like thunder from the skies. Cryptids lurking near, in the darkness they rise. Paranormal tales that will twist your mind. Tune into the mystery, leave the norm behind. In the war room we fight with the strange insight. Unveiling truths in the paranormal war room. We take flight, bringing the spooky vibes, shadows and light. With every beat, the legends we explore, unleashing the spirits. We're ready for more. So hit that subscribe. Don't be left in the dark. Join us in the war, let's make our mark.